Okay, let's do our last topic. It's our fun topic. It's our retro rewatch, which still twists my tongue. This time around, we decided to watch The Greatest American Hero. And this is, I remember it as a TV show, but its pilot was like almost 2 hours long. It was a really long pilot. And I got a lot of feelings about it as far as a movie. I mean, obviously, certain things that just wouldn't fly today. Like today, you wouldn't have the scene with the girl student holding the hands of the teacher. He'd be running away, going, "Stop touching me! Stop touching me!" It would just
That was
the
an option for him.
yeah, and they're just obviously it's a product of its time. Clyde and I were talking before we started, right around the time I think you jumped on, Russ's, just how Robert Culp's, it was Robert Culp or Bill Culp? Robert Culp?
Robert
Rob,
Culp.
Robert Culp. His character was obviously someone who cut his teeth in the 50s and the 60s, so he had more greatest generation attitudes. So a lot of his quips and his funny lines are all about feminism this and hey sugar let's go do that and or be a man or I want to go get the Ruskies because that's who he would have grown up fighting. And
Right.
so all of those aside, I actually found it to be kind of an uneven movie, almost like Highlander 2, where you could tell that it was written by and directed by two different people, and you can tell which scenes were not directed by the same person.
I think there were scenes that were cut out because it seemed like there was stuff that they were talking about that we should have already known.
Yeah, exactly. Like
So
things that didn't happen, and like the comedic parts felt tacked on. Like maybe they tried to do a serious movie for a little while, and then suddenly somebody comes in and goes, "Yeah, but what if we yuck it up a little bit?" And so the wiki page does say the creative teams got interfered with by the network executives in a lot of different ways.
I can see that for sure.
But
Well, yeah, the creative team wanted a more conquer the ills of the country and the world sort of thing, and the studio's like, "Nah, we want adventure of the week." Pow pow,
yeah,
blow them up,
well,
and
that
that was the dictate of the aliens that gave them the suit, that they were supposed to fix the world.
yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. Now, one thing that I actually, a little Mandela effect that happened with me is I thought I remembered he got the suit and he was not the person the suit was meant for, that he ended up getting the suit accidentally, which,
I think you're partly right.
but then, because when you hear the song, he goes, it should have been somebody else. But when you read the wiki page, that doesn't really come in until season 2. The aliens tell him, well, somebody had it before you, but they wanted to become a hero and they wanted to become famous. And that's not really what the suit is for. So we took it away from him and gave it to you. And yeah, it's a
There
little,
was a movie too, wasn't there? There was a TV movie after it got canceled, and then they tried to bring it back with Greatest American Heroine.
yeah, I saw that in the wiki page. And the idea was she got the suit after Hinckley decided he didn't want to play by the rules anymore. And and so they decided, fine, then you got to find somebody to take it from you. And that's the person they found. And so it just had the pilot. I think you can find it. Oh, that's right. They said it was re-edited and slipped into season 2 as an episode.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, I
well,
don't remember any of that stuff. I don't remember any of the reboots, or I don't remember what you said about there was somebody else or he wasn't supposed to get it.
yeah.
I did notice, and I don't know if y'all noticed this, there was some music that was in that 2 hour episode that was not originally in, because
I read
you could hear that it was like, wait a minute, this doesn't have any pops and scratches in it like I would expect from analog tape from the 80s. So yeah, there was a couple of 2 or 3 songs that were added in.
according to the webs, it was Rocket Man, sung by Asbury, who did the theme song. But for licensing, they
I figured it was a licensing issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they put in other shit, like
Oh,
a different
shit.
variation of,
Like they did with WKRP in Cincinnati.
Yep. That's what I was going to say. Yep.
and Moonlighting, which is why it's taken this long. Moonlighting is finally going to be released on streaming.
Yeah. Licensing is so much easier now. So, I mean, from a if you, also, it's like the Jesus people, the Jesus people, the ones that I mean, I just called them the bald Jesus people. Almost like their storyline never made any sense. They're just like the henchmen that follow around
That
the
that
penguin.
that's why it's like we didn't get what is all this stuff. We
Right.
didn't.
I think
We weren't let into anything that was going on, and now it
one
could
line
come up
by
later in
Robert
the season.
It's one line by Robert Culp where he goes, so that's your angle, huh? You do this, gin up this fake religion to take over when you really just want to be top of the heap. In one sentence, he explained the entire fake cult. It was a fake cult kind of thing. But you're right.
But that doesn't do any good when you don't spread the cult.
But
Yeah.
it happens when you edit and you have executives sending notes,
Right.
writer's room, and crap like that. Entire stories. Highlander 2, exact same thing happened in Highlander
This
2.
reminds me of The Incredible Melting Man. Did you ever see that?
No,
That
no,
movie?
I haven't. Which
So
like the older one? Weren't there a couple? Of
yeah,
them?
the one, no, the Incredible Melting Man came out in the late 70s.
Okay.
And I watched it. I was like, "Oh, I remember this movie. I want to watch it." I rented it from the video store and watched it. I was like, "There's something weird about this movie." And then I had to look it up. The director originally filmed it as a comedy, and then the studio went in and re-edited it to make it a horror film. And I'm like, "Well, that explains why everyone's having these weird reactions. Like, they're not overacting. They're playing it, hamming it up like it's supposed to be a comedy." It was just really weird.
I would agree about Greatest American Hero in the unevenness, because there are scenes that are clearly written from a network television standpoint. All right, we got some camp, we got some yuck yucks. You've also got a classic 80s action script structure, and then you've got the A-B storyline. And in this particular pilot episode, it was about respect. So you got the respect with the kids, and you got the respect between Robert Culp and Hinckley. And it's thin, it's tenuous, but the format for the past 20 some years, or from that moment on, was always an A-B storyline. And that's how it's written. 5 acts, you got to have the commercial breaks in there. But then there would be like really good scenes of dialogue written by an experienced writer, which was probably Cannell, Stephen J. Cannell, where they mention the consequences of him being a superhero, which are kind of things I would bring up too. Stuff like she's talking about, this is the kind of thing that does kind of ruin a marriage.
Oh, yeah, true.
That sort of thing. And, they're having a real discussion. What happens if all of a sudden an FBI guy who's got government access and a regular person all of a sudden have superpowers? What do? Well, you probably would want to bring world peace and stuff, but we know how that goes. You usually unintended consequences, you make it worse. Flashpoint. But
no, if that had really happened with an FBI agent, it would have brought it into his superiors, and then it would have been been taken over by the government.
Exactly. So there were the good writer on the show had them say things that I think were very realistic about, oh shit, what are you doing? He talks about how the suit, how ludicrous the suit is. Why did they make such a stupid looking suit? And that makes his job even harder. And I thought, yeah, I'd say the same damn thing too. In fact, I mean, I would ask if I could modify it.
Just wear something over it, man. Just wear
Yeah,
something
exactly.
over it. Something light and breathy.
Trench coat's going to nullify the flying power, so wear something over top of it.
Wear something uncomplicated.
Now, did y'all watch more than just the pilot? Because I was gonna watch the next episode, but I never got around to it. I think originally it must have been split up into 2, Because
Oh, yeah.
the way it was billed, it was like episodes 1 and 2 in one episode.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it was a part
I
1 and
guess
part 2.
so. You know that.
That's like Buck Rogers. They just split the original feature-length
Right.
movie into 2.
Which, by the way, Gil Gerard was married to Connie Selica.
Yes, you're right. Oh,
Holy
deep cut.
That's right. How old was she in this show? 'Cause
I don't
she
know,
was-
but she was hot.
Yeah, she was pretty.
I do remember finding that whole thing. Ooh, I have feelings. So, okay, well,
Do you know where that house what the house is? Not the house, the den, the villain.
No.
Lair.
Yeah, it's a house in Hollywood. I've probably seen it in a million things.
Immaculate Nun of Mary or something.
Was it the same one that was used in The House on Haunted Hill with Vincent Price?
It may be. I found the IMDb page for the Sisters of the Immaculate Heart of Mary. There are 37 titles for that location. They rent it out a lot for film and television. A lot of television. But you'd recognize it. Dragnet, everything from Airwolf, Simon to Simon, Knight Rider. It looks like a lot of Belisario shows. Simon and Simon, Greatest American Hero.
Dun, 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 dun.
In fact, Greatest American Hero filmed several episodes there
Did they?
because it's such a big compound. I guess they just repurpose.
Well,
Filmed from a different angle.
and the song made it to number 1, so it obviously was filled with heroes all the way around.
All around, it
All
is a
around.
very enjoyable show, and it is a shame that it didn't last longer than 2 seasons. I think it had
3
a lot-
seasons.
3?
Yeah,
I'll have
it's
to
3
look and see.
seasons.
Yeah. Well,
First season was like 8 episodes. Second season, 22.
yeah.
And
Oh,
then the
old
last
style,
was
yeah.
like 14 or something. Yeah,
then-
I just looked it up.
Must have been a mid-season replacement. That's how you get 8 episodes in the first one. The old
Yeah,
system.
that's usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. Well, again, thanks everybody for joining us. That's it. It's a wrap for us, guys. We're going into spring. Pretty soon it'll be summer. Looking forward to lots of cool things. So we should have some great topics to talk about as we move into the entertainment season. So thanks everybody for joining us. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Goodbye.